Hello, everybody, and welcome to another MyMusic. Well, here they are, my two guests for today from Lighthouse Logic. And just in case you change your mind again, folks, and decide not to do this, we're going to have a quick bit of music, and then we'll come back and talk to them.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Aubrey, David, thank you so much for joining me today. And now some people think that this show is all about me, right? But it's not, right? That's only if I get distracted. Okay, that's only if I get distracted. Because the thing is, when were you in Spain? Oh, by the way, you're on mute. I can't hear you. Oh, you've completely gone. There we are. Well, we've lost audio. What happened there? What happened there? Tell you what, we'll pause it. We'll try. Hello, and welcome to another MyMusic. Today, I'm going to be speaking to the Lighthouse Logic, which is great. I don't know what kind of logic it is, but we will be speaking to Aubrey and David shortly. But first of all, we must have our little video from the people at Analog Trash. Here it goes.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
So both of you, how are you?
We're doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Where are you coming from today?
We live in Utah in the United States.
Okay, so when were you in Spain?
Actually, just this last year.
Hey!
Yeah, last year we went to Spain in May. That's
Right.
not exactly what the song is about, but we did go to Spain
Well,
in
we
May.
did visit, after the fact of the song. So,
Oh, right. Okay, so you wrote the song first.
yeah,
And then you went to Spain. What was that, to check it out and make sure that you got it factually right? Or
yeah, to make sure
We
we
had
got
to
the
make
song
sure.
right. Yeah, that's actually a great place to start. So,
yeah.
with that song, I met a fellow by the name of Colton while I was living in Washington, in I think it was 2018. And so when we were living together, we actually wrote a lot of songs, just kind of back and forth. We both shared a similar taste in music. And one of the songs he wrote was about the girl that he wanted to be with and everything else. And he just wasn't sure if she felt the same way. And at the time she was in Spain. And so he wrote the song lyrically just to kind of express are you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another MyMusic. For those of you who don't know, and nobody knows, this is the third start to this because the last two times, one, I introduced the Lighthouse Logic, who are here today to talk to me, and their microphones were off. And then secondly, somebody phoned me as I was trying to get going on the podcast. Just don't do that, will you? All right, so
Everyone should know now. Yep.
everybody should now know this is the rules, folks. If I'm going to do a podcast, a music podcast, don't phone me in the middle of it. Just wait your turn. We'll be speaking to Lighthouse Logic straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Hello, both of you. Now,
Hello.
where are you coming from?
We are coming from Utah, Salt Lake City in the United States.
Cool. But what I need to know is, when were you in Spain?
So just this last year, we went and visited Spain for the first time ourselves. But that actually was after we had written the song When You Were in Spain. So
which is a cracking song. So
Thank
tell
you.
me the story of that song. How did that come about?
Yeah, so when I was living in Washington in 2018, I was living with a fellow by the name of Colton, and he and I just wrote a lot of songs together because we had similar music tastes. And so one of the songs that he wrote was about a girl who he was into and wanted to be with, but he wasn't sure if she felt the same way about him. And at the time, she was living in Spain. And so he wrote this song about what he felt were like all the mixed messages he was getting from her as they were writing letters back and forth and different things like that. And ultimately, they both came back to Utah, and things worked out. They ended up getting together. It turned out that she did feel the same way about him. And so I just kind of had this song about his like frustrations kind of sitting in my phone notes or whatever. And then unfortunately he contracted cancer about 2 years ago, I think, and passed away after a year's battle with it.
Crikey.
And so, yeah, it was a really sad time. And when we saw that he had passed away, it kind of fell on me. I was like, I have this song that he wrote, you know, from his mind and his feelings.
Yeah.
And so we felt the need to produce it and make it into an actual song, both for him as a tribute as well as for his surviving wife. And he had a daughter as well.
Wow.
And so it's if you'll notice too, it's kind of a song that's a little bit different stylistically than some of our other songs. Because we specifically tried to write it more like the pop punk bands that he liked a lot. And so specifically Newfound Glory was kind of our big influence in writing it. But yeah, so that's the story behind the song. It's a little somber note to start, but
Yeah.
It is, but do you know what? Songs, when they have that much potency, because the story behind them is that powerful, they really cut deep with people. Have you noticed much of a reaction to that song in terms of from an audience perspective?
huge.
Quite
Yeah.
a bit. When we perform it live, that's one of our songs that people take note to. But more than that, you know, his wife has reached out and said that she listens to it all the time because it feels like it came from him, you know. And I hope that other people can kind of feel that too. Like, this came from him. This is a part of Colton.
Right.
That's a very special thing to have done for your friend. That's a very, very special thing to have done for your friend. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What a great start to this conversation. Thank you so much. You're right. It is somber, but and maybe a little deep for people that are listening at whatever time of day it is. But I hope they respect the fact that, you know, not every song is about roses, etc. And not everything in life is about roses as well. Not everything has a happy ending, does it? But,
Yeah.
you know, that's, wow, that's incredible that story's there. Tell me then, right, I've got the next question I've got to ask you is an obvious one, right? Which is, what's your favorite Christmas film?
Oh,
Very obvious. Aubrey's got hers right on the top of her head.
A Christmas
so.
Carol, any version, all of the versions, I've seen them all, and I book all of it. I really love that movie.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I've loved it since I was a kid, and then just kind of growing up, it was like I didn't sit there and think about what's my favorite Christmas movie and then decide that one. It's just always been my favorite movie.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it.
Do you like the Muppet version of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it besides all the really obvious stuff, it actually kind of follows the book pretty well. So,
Yeah. And
it's
Michael
fun.
Caine looks so uncomfortable singing,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And he did a good job, though.
which is great. But you see, that's not the right answer, because
Oh.
the right answer, of course, is about a small boy that stays at home,
The answer's Home Alone.
and it's Home Alone, which is another one of your songs.
You're right. Home Alone is the best.
Home Alone is absolutely. You got a little distracted there for a minute, and that's perhaps you thought it was all a dream.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my goodness! How many of your songs can we throw in one place? I don't know. I don't know.
It's a lot.
We read
so-
through 6 or
What?
7 does.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, what is Home Alone all about?
That's a good question. I wrote that song, and it is based off of just something like an experience that happened to me actually during Christmas time when I was like 18. And,
You got left alone on your
no.
own at home, and burglars came round.
Yeah, so in the movie, that was actually me. It was based off of my life.
Right.
Just kidding. I thought it was kind of fun because like I wrote the song Home Alone, and then it wasn't supposed to be like a play on of Home Alone the movie at all. But then like it was based in December, and I mentioned December, and then I was like, okay, this is actually like super fun because Home Alone is a Christmas song, and I was like, people are totally gonna think that this song is about the movie, and it has nothing to do with the movie, but I think it's kind of fun that they're both Christmas.
Well, you see, I think the fun thing about all of your songs is that they can fit together as sentences really well. You see?
Yeah,
True.
It's just kind of rolls off the tongue.
I don't, some people have songs where they're like literally just one word or whatever, but what you've got there is you've got such a great mixture of titles. You've got singular words, and then you've got like sentences, etc. So you could literally start to make a story with them. Have you ever considered that, the fact that you could actually play with them as a set of song titles, and that they could become interwoven as a story?
But I think David should definitely do
Yeah.
that because that's really up his alley.
I've noticed that you can definitely tie them together, but I've never thought about doing something. I think that would be fun.
I think we should.
Like almost a Mad Libs type thing you write through and
Yeah.
make a story out of them. That would be really cool.
We should.
Yeah. What is your story, the two of you? How did you meet? How did this all start?
Yeah. So Lighthouse Logic originally was a band that I started in high school when I was about 17, 18. And
So
then
that was last year, yeah?
You were 16.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
no,
right.
We were sophomores.
we were sophomores.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever it was, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, no, we're actually 25 now. So the band's been around for a long time. But I took a little break from the band for a little while and came back to it in 2019. And that's when I met Aubrey at Southern Utah University, the college we both went to. And so I was looking for a drummer actually at the time. And Aubrey said, oh yeah, like I could play drums, like pick me, I'll do it. And I was originally the singer. So we got together a little ragtag group. We started practicing in a middle school band rehearsal room, like for, band class.
It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah, it was nice to have a band classroom to practice in. Great acoustics, all that kind of stuff. And so we just practiced through that. And we actually went through a lot of different names, a lot of different lineups throughout the years. And ultimately, it's just been Aubrey and me through the whole time. And we kind of have our own love story that happened through the band. We started dating after we had started the band. And then that progressed to now where we're married, we live together, and the band's therefore not going anywhere anytime soon. But
Wow. I love that. And the name, Lighthouse Logic, where did you settle on that lovely piece of alliteration?
That's a great
We've gone
question.
through a lot of band names, that's for sure. Lighthouse
Yeah.
Logic was the start. It was the first one, and it's the last one. And it actually didn't come from us. It came from one of his friends.
Yeah,
So.
it came from one of the original members of the band when I was in high school. His sister had told him, he was like, if you ever start a band, you need to name it Lighthouse Logic. And we were originally named Daybreak. And he kind of brought it up to me one day. He was like, hey, listen, I never thought I'd actually be in a band, but now that I am, we need to use this name. And so we were like, all right, let's go for it. And then years later, when I revisited the name, I was like, he probably won't mind if we take the name and start using
But
it.
he did.
And
We've asked him. He does
yeah,
not
we actually
mind.
ran into him and asked him.
You got
and-
him to sign on a napkin, haven't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we got him
Exactly.
to- We were in the
Cool.
gym.
He gave us
so
his
it was-
blessing.
We were in the gym, so it was on like a water bottle or something. But yeah, we've got his blessing for it. But we've thought about too, kind of what the name means and represents. And there's actually in our hometown, Cedar City, Utah, which is down like south by where Zion and everything is. there's a lighthouse that's right next to the highway.
Wow.
For no reason. There's
no ocean for miles.
no body of water either. There's not
No
even
body of water.
a lake or a river. Even
It's in the middle of town.
by a Walmart.
Yeah.
And so, what the logic of having a lighthouse there is questionable. And so we've kind of turned the name additionally into a tribute to where we came from, in kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of what's that lighthouse doing there?
What's in this?
So,
What's in this lighthouse that's there? Is it a restaurant or is it?
No.
Yeah, there is
I've
a
never
room.
been inside of
Yeah,
it.
so you can go up. There's like stairs and there's an actual room up top. I had friends that have been up there. But it serves no practical function.
No, nobody
it's-
actually does
it's
anything in
just
there.
Yeah.
It's just there.
You got to do a music video there sometime though.
We
right?
do.
We're gonna go down there in 2
I think
months.
it's next- yeah,
yeah,
next month
and
or
we're
2
gonna
months.
get some good footage down there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
random.
It is random. Yeah, I can't think why in the middle of Utah there would be a lighthouse.
No one knows.
We've got some beautiful lighthouses in England. If you'd like to come and see some that are actually practical.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually we were in England also last year.
I visited London.
We loved
Yeah.
it.
Well, no, you see, but what everybody does London, right? Not many lighthouses there. What
No,
you should do is come to the UK and you should do a lighthouse tour. You should go
Ooh,
to
that'd be
Should.
cool.
you should go from town to town where we have lighthouses.
That would be so great.
should
We're
definitely
adding
do
that to
that.
the bucket list for sure.
That would be great, wouldn't it? You see?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And there'd be real logic to that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll hit you up when we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
it'd be like,
abs-
where's the
absolutely.
lighthouses?
Oh yeah, we've got lighthouses down here. I'm on the southwest coast of England. It's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
We have look up Lyme Regis on your
Okay.
Google Maps afterwards. You'll go,
Lyme Regis.
oh,
Okay.
look at that! I can't wait to get over there and play there. That would be fantastic.
Good advice.
That would be fantastic. So the two of you met. You've been writing music together. You fell in love, etc. So, do you ever write about each other, and how would that work? Do you sort of like go? I'm not sure I can have that line in. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Yes.
definitely talked about that and the kind of dynamics at play with it. We have definitely written about each other.
We
Aubrey
have
more
one
than
song.
me.
We
Yeah.
have one song on Spotify right now. Nope. It's
Not
coming
yet.
out in a week. I wrote that song about David. There are other songs that I have written where I have used lines that kind of hinted to, this is definitely about David. But I always, like, when I show him songs, I'm always like, hey, just so you know, this is what this is about. This is what this line means. Like, I don't want him to feel bad, especially if I write a song where, like, I don't know, we're fighting and I'm annoyed or something. I learned, hey, let me be creative. I don't really mean this. And he
Yeah.
writes songs about me too, but they're usually just, for me. So
Yeah.
So, right, given the fact that you can both sing, do you think at some point, like you'll write one of, because there are some out there, do you think you could write like a conversational epic where like you're having a conversation backwards and forwards in a song? That would be great, wouldn't it?
that would be a really good song, a very interesting dynamic. I wonder how that would go. We'd have to see how that would go for
Well,
sure.
it goes a bit like
We'll start recording.
We gotta record right
right,
now.
and then on the top it's like da, 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 da. No, I don't know. I
I'm
don't
seeing
know.
the vision here.
Yeah.
We could get people in with the vision boards to
Perfect.
kind of work that. No, but honestly, it could work really well. I mean, that's the only the sort of thing that could really work really well if you're literally a couple.
It would be an insight
Mhm.
into our relationship, that's for sure.
That would be fun. I'm gonna have to write that down. Those are the kind of things that I love doing.
That's your mother-in-law on the phone. She's just going, no, that's a bad idea,
Just
David.
don't do
Yeah,
it. Don't do it.
Turn off.
Yeah. But yeah, I really love doing like those kind of more, I guess, like poetic, epic, like I don't know, quirky is probably the right word, type
Quirky.
artistic stuff. Which is why it's fun. Aubrey does most of the songwriting for Lighthouse Logic because of the kind of brand that we've set up being more I don't know, just kind of what she's established. And then a lot of the more quirky artistic stuff I'll write and kind of bring to Aubrey and be like, what do you think of this? And if it's, something that fits, she'll take it and adjust some of the parameters. And if it's not, I kind of write it and produce it on my own and have a little collection of my
solo
quirky
artist
songs,
stuff.
to release when we go on solo careers or whatever. So
I was going to talk to you a little bit about that because I love the kind of Instagram little reels that you've got and whatever, where you're kind of really DIYing music as well, and you're sort of like breaking it down. We have an artist over here, Ellie Dixon, that does a lot of that sort of thing. Are you aware of Ellie Dixon's music?
I've
I'll have to
never
look
heard
her
of
up
Ellie
right
Dixon.
now. I'll
Oh,
write her name down.
there you go. And she, I mean, live, she even does things like where she record part of the audience and then use them singing something or saying something and put it through.
Really?
Yeah, put it through her keyboard and play with it and stuff like that. But
So cool.
all of this,
Right.
I love all of that. I
Yeah.
love all of that. What's the most unusual instrument you've ever created?
That's a good question.
Good question. I started doing that recently, just kind of like learning how to make percussion. I have one that I started that I haven't put on Instagram yet, but it was a what's that called? Like Mylar balloon?
Oh yeah, whatever
Mylar.
those are.
Yeah, like a Mylar balloon, kind of like a scratching noise against the Mylar balloon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually have a great answer for that too. So we're in a master's program learning music technology, and one of our assignments was to create a piece of musique concrète, like the French tradition of that.
Yeah.
And so I did mine based on kitchen noises. And so I walked around our kitchen making breakfast, kind of clanging pots around and boiling water and scratching silverware and whatever. And then toasting toast, buttering toast, like all of that kind of stuff. And then brought it into the digital audio workstation and started just putting it together and piecing it into a kind of cohesive narrative almost.
I love that.
And so that's got to be the weirdest one I've done is I made that, and it's kind of like a story of making breakfast. It's on my YouTube. If you want to check it out. Yeah, I put it on little YouTube shorts. But yeah, that's the weirdest one I've done as far as making objects into an instrument. So
I think the family that sings together in the kitchen stays together.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
I mean,
yeah,
absolutely right.
Agreed.
Do you do that? I've asked other people before, but do you do that whole thing where like you make up new words to different songs in the kitchen while you're cooking?
I do. I would say I definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We actually have a series on our like Instagram and our TikTok that's like songs that hit different gender swapped. And that really comes out of David's brain. It's like songs that he's like, this would sound so weird if this was gender swapped, and we kind of like make up different lyrics for it, and it's pretty funny.
Well, my excuse was always I can't actually remember the original lyrics.
See, there you go. Yeah.
Right. So
let's make it up.
You kind of like it's like most people, they just like remember one or two lines, and rather than just repeat those one or two lines over and over and drive everybody completely potty with it.
That's what I do.
You just go and then rather than hum, you just make up something else that rhymes with it, and it ends up going somewhere completely different. But I think it's quite creative in its own like little lunchtime, really, and it's really good in the kitchen. You can really kind of big everything up. In fact, my family from time to time, if we all get together, do musicals in the kitchen.
Oh,
really?
That's great.
Yeah, have you ever done musicals in the kitchen? Like you literally make up a musical with about some random subject.
Most definitely. I don't know that Aubrey's joined in, but I'll be in the kitchen singing
Just
about
by
making
himself.
meals and singing about our
Aubrey, you
I
need
know,
to
I'm
do
so
this, and then
boring.
we
She
need
doesn't
to get
jump in.
we need to get this on the old TikTok.
That's what we need to do. Yeah, we need to. If nothing else, Aubrey needs to start recording.
I need to start
and
recording when
documenting
David's
when I
being
start
weird in the
doing it.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can dress up as the prince, and he can dress up as the princess, and it
That
would
sounds
just
right.
Brilliant.
it just just brilliant.
That sounds right to me, for sure.
I think it's good. What's in store for you for the rest of the year? What are you planning to put out for the rest of the year, or you looking at lots more shows, or where are you going?
Such an exciting year, actually. Yeah, I'll let Aubrey
So much.
start. But
We have an album, so we've been putting out singles pretty consistently this year and last year, and we are finally compiling it into an album that's going to come out early this summer, late spring. We don't have.
Have you got a title for the album?
We do.
We do.
Here,
It's actually the title of our next single that's coming out in a week, and it is called "Happiest Disaster."
Wow, that's a great title.
It's the song that I wrote about David.
Gonna do a little leak here. Here's the album cover. Exclusive. It's a little blurry, but anyone who's on the show can see that's what album cover is gonna be.
That's what it's gonna be. So
get a little leak here.
Yeah, we have that coming out, and we have actually already started writing songs for album number 2 that we'll start releasing as singles after our album is out. I mean, we've already been coming up with ideas and started recording stuff. We have tons of shows lined up for right before this album gets released and right after this album gets released. And then the biggest thing is David and I are moving to Tennessee. We're moving to Nashville in 2 months.
Music City.
Wow. Tennessee. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have that bit just from the Prince song, you know.
We do.
Oh,
yeah.
Tennessee.
Just that one little sample. Yeah.
Just that little song. Yeah, you got to put that in a song somewhere.
We should.
Mind you, maybe just live because it's Prince and it probably costs.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't.
Maybe.
The state, I don't think would take kind
No,
of.
they probably wouldn't let us.
That would put us on the map, though. That would be the way that we shot to stardom. Is this band, ripped off Prince? They came after him, even though they're a tiny little band.
We're completely poor now because we've had to pay the estate this amount of money. But
people know who we are, so
people know our name now. Yeah,
all that matters. So, okay, why the move?
We live in Utah, like we said, and there is definitely a music scene here, and it is growing, but it is nowhere near how it is in Nashville. The music city. That's the place to go if you want to have connections, if you want to do music, and it's time for us. It's time for us to move there.
Yeah, especially as like an originals focused band. Like there's a lot of originals bands in Utah, but the ones that are successful in like a professional capacity where they're only doing music or that kind of thing, either are primarily in cover bands or have cover bands additionally. Like Aubrey right now is in a cover band that brings in a little bit. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you got to be in the right city for your music. And Utah just isn't the right city for the kind of pop punky mixture that we make.
Yeah.
So we've seen a lot of bands in Tennessee that make very similar, if not the same music as us. So
Yeah, everybody in the UK, the only thing they can remember from Utah is Utah Saints.
Yeah,
Utah Saints.
Yeah.
So yeah, only thing we know about it.
And I'm not even sure they were from Utah. So there you go. Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Who knows? Well, listen, I wish you well with all of it. Let's hope at some point in all of that you do make it over to the UK again for a little bit of a tour. That would be marvelous.
We're coming back.
We'll see you doing the coastal route and doing all of the different lighthouses. That would be marvelous, wouldn't it?
that would be really
That's
cool.
the dream.
If you're listening and you own a lighthouse anywhere, but particularly in the UK, and you'd love Lighthouse Logic to play there, do give us a little shout. That would be marvelous too. And just one final question to leave you on today. So if I could put you on stage tomorrow with anybody in the world as a sort of warm-up act, who would that be?
I think we've kind of agreed that if there's any band that we could collaborate with or go on stage with or do anything like that, it would probably be the band All Time Low, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you agree? They are really our muse for a lot of things. We love them. So
yeah, they're a pop punk outfit out of Baltimore, Maryland. They've been around for much longer. We have the 25 years.
They deserve way more credit than they get. They should be superstars. So.
Yeah. So
cool. Right. So I'm going to tag them in.
Oh yeah, do it.
Right. With instructions to them to get you a support slot at some point in the next year.
absolutely, yeah. Once we're over there too, it'll be a lot easier. It's like if they're trying to pull us from Utah, maybe they'll have a hard time. But we'll be right next to them over in Tennessee.
Exactly, we'll be right there. We can
right
follow
next to each other,
them.
pretty much.
We'll find them.
You'll be stalking them.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll follow them
Maybe.
around until they let us play on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, it's like, I didn't buy that coffee. Did you buy that coffee?
We'll peek around the corner.
I
Like,
would buy them
"Are they
coffee
drinking
for
our
sure.
coffee?" Yeah.
I think that couple just bought it and left it on your table. Oh, right. Okay. Strange. Okay.
Weird.
Who paid my parking ticket?
That's not beneath us for sure.
We'll carry guitars around. They'll be like, "Is this a stage crew? Do we know them?" Like,
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the great advice that several people that have been on the show have given over the years for getting really good support slots is what you got to do is you got to volunteer to sell their merch.
oh right.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard that.
advice.
I've read before as a band, they're like, go ask people who live in like the city to be your merch people if you don't have one. But we need to be looking out for people who are asking for merch people and be like, pick us.
That's
like
dream job
we're gonna
right
do
there.
that. Yeah, that's genius. We need to look harder for that.
No, you should do that. You should say not. There was one guy that we had on, John Mouse, who's brilliant, and he picked up several gigs, and he said, right, I basically said, I'll warm up your audience for you. He does a lot of funny dancing and stuff. He's really good. Secondly, I'll drive your van. Thirdly, I'll sell your merch at the interval. And-
He's really got a thing
And
going.
he absolutely said, I am the best support act in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And he literally marketed himself as that, which I think was genius.
I think that
Actually,
is
it is.
genius. What a good thing to brand yourself as.
Yeah.
You're gonna get lots of opportunities from that.
And he did. People will go, come along, do it. And,
Like, please.
Yeah, and it's
Exactly.
and then it's easy for them. They don't have to have someone else sell the merch and whatever. They know this guy's going to be witty and he's going to put his heart into it, and it's just good. It's just
Yeah.
really, really good. So yeah, all-time low. You don't know it yet, but you need a new merchandiser, and it's going to be them.
It's gonna be us.
There we go. Thank you so much, Aubrey, David, for coming along today and
you, Graham.
talking to me. We got over the gremlins at the start.
Yeah. Thank you for working through them.
You people out there never saw any of it. So there we go. We will be back soon with more MyMusic. If you've enjoyed this, please do go and share with your friends and family. You can pick up on previous episodes and find out the history of all of this at mymusicpodcast.com, which is where you can also join the community, which I shall be inviting Aubrey and David into after this. And if you want to come there, you can learn all sorts of things. We're teaching digital skills and we're helping musicians to monetize their audience as well. Until next time, thanks for watching and bye for now.
Hi.